Hey, what's going on, y'all? Today is Friday, April 14th, and today's topic is I lost my green card. Can I enter America without my green card? Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America. I have a physical office in Houston, Texas, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it from happening in the first place. Thanks for tuning in. Here to answer any of your questions. You're welcome to drop it in the comment section, and I'll get to it soon. But for now, the topic for today, at least for the beginning 5-10 minutes, and I'll share some websites to help y'all in this situation. I have lost my green card. Can I enter America without my green card? Okay, so here's the thing. I've actually had a close friend tell me that his dad got punched in the face from behind, and they stole his wallet. This is a true story. That's very unfortunate, and it was a third developing country, I guess you can call it. And yeah, he was trying, scrambling. I think they had a flight like maybe 2 days later. So this is a person that was not. He has a resident status. He wasn't in the process of like remove conditions, because usually this type of question comes up when people apply for remove conditions or they have the conditional resident status or even permanent resident, and somehow they lost it or needed to get the temporary stamp. So this scenario is also for people who are actually outside America currently. Maybe you just got done traveling, or you're coming back from your trip, and you realize you get to the airport, you go to not the travel agent, but the person at the ticket table, or we call it the ticket counter, and well, maybe not even there, because I do remember at least in America, they ask for identification. But even if you get through the security, okay, and you get to the gate, and they call your whatever group number or something, you get there, and then they say, "Where's your passport?" And you got the passport, right? But then your passport doesn't have that stamp, or you also don't. They see, obviously, maybe you don't have a U.S. citizen. You're not a U.S. citizen, so you don't have that passport. And so, well, how are you gonna? Where's your permanent resident card or resident card in general? Or where's your stamp? So this is definitely where it's like the last very step, and you're thinking, oh shoot, you need something proper, right? You need legal documentation that I can even enter the U.S. So in some way, they're saving you some time, a headache from even traveling. So this is what you got to do. Okay. Step number one: apply for a travel boarding foil. I don't know why they call it foil, FOIL, but here's the deal. Okay, I'm going to share some websites. Let me share my screen, and we'll drop a link in here after the show so you can take a look. But here you go. Okay, let me make it a little larger if I can. Okay, perfect. Okay, so there you go. This is a 131A. You can apply online. You can pay for it online. Let me scroll down how much it is. Okay, it's kind of hefty. $575. There's no biometrics, thank the Lord, because biometrics typically means you got to take your fingerprints in America, which wouldn't make sense in this situation because you're outside America. All right, so says where to file. You can file online, or you can file in person at your U.S. embassy or consulate. All right, so but before you even get there, you got to submit this filing fee online, as you see it here. Yeah, so it's pay online, but you got to print this form out. Okay, it shows it right here, 131A. If you're on Instagram, I can't share my screen, unfortunately. I can only share it on YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, it shows the different scenarios where you would need this card. Okay, so one of the examples are you're trying to travel from temporary or returning from temporary travel outside the United States, and you've been out for less than a year, and your residence that you have, you're a permanent resident, has your permanent resident card has been lost, stolen, or destroyed. So the example that close friend's dad got mugged, unfortunately, that would definitely meet the situation. It was a short trip also. The second scenario here says returning from temporary travel outside the U.S. of less than 2 years, and your re-entry permit has been lost, stolen, or destroyed. Okay. Then the third scenario is returning from temporary travel from outside U.S. and your 512, 512L or 512T, or your advanced parole document, or your work permit, your EAD, with the travel endorsement. So sometimes we call it a combo card if you are filing through like an immediate relative case, like for example, married to a U.S. citizen. And so let's say that document has not expired, but has been lost, stolen, or damaged while you're overseas. So that counts also. All right. So they measure the length of your absence from the time you're departed the U.S. to the time that you pay the fee. So as soon as you might not be in this situation right now, but if you're watching right now, at least you know for the future and you know where to come for the information. And that's right here at greencardguys.tv. Here's another scenario, other website I want to show you. So when you Google search, when you Google search let me make this larger. When you Google search like travel document or travel boarding foil, that's basically your ticket, your extra ticket to get on a plane. All right. You also not just want to just pay for this right here on the USCIS website, but you want to check the steps that's involved with each specific embassy and consulate, because not every embassy or consulate have the same steps. I mean, generally it should be the same and generally has the same information. But yeah, it says, step 1, pay the fee. It gives even more specific instructions. Step 2, schedule appointment. So that's the key difference right here is scheduling appointment. Let me see if I can click that. So it goes to a specific form, like the one I'm looking at right now, Japan, specific form for that, right? Form specific to this consulate location. So if I go back to this Japanese consulate page, they have certain things you need to bring. So presumably it's going to be the same information for each consulate, if you lose this. So we do have a free guide about this. We share information. If you're stuck in this situation, you can send us a DM. We'll send you the link so you could have this information readily available. That way you can save time. But otherwise, you can just Google search this. But there's a key phrase, travel boarding foil, okay, that you would need to search that on the internet. All right, so hopefully that helps y'all. Hopefully you don't have to be in that situation at all. But, just to take a step back, let's say you're not in that situation yet, that you haven't lost your green card, but maybe you have the green card, but it's expired. Okay. So that this also applies. But let's say, you filed, another scenario is that you filed your 751 application and you received the receipt notice. So, but maybe you lost the receipt notice. Okay. Right now, these days, recently, the past couple months, USCIS has extended your conditional resident status for 48 months. That's 4 years. Before that, I think it was about 36 months. And then before that was 12 to 18 months. So the government, USCIS, it may seem like they're doing you a favor, which, yes, to that extent, for traveling purposes and things like that. And what I understand is that they're probably doing that or have done that because the process to where if your conditional residence status expire, let's say before it was like, extra 12 months, then we will always suggest our clients and help them schedule an InfoPass appointment at the local USCIS office. But it's under Biden, under a Trump administration, they really they really limited the type of appointments that you could schedule, because at the end of the day, I mean, logistically, if more people have to come into the field office, then there's less time working on people's cases to review it. So that makes sense to that extent. So, but they finally, under the Biden administration, they're smarter about it, because if you're limiting those appointments to get the stamp on your passport, right, for the extension, if you limit those appointments, then you got to do something on the back end, and that is to extend it for 4 years. So, so you can look at it two different ways. That, oh my gosh, the government's taking so long that, well, taking so long on my conditional resident 751 case that I just want my freaking permanent resident. We could sue the government, or we take the approach if you've had resident status in general, resident status for 3 years total, then you can apply to become a U.S. citizen. Yes, you can apply for that even when your 751 case is still pending. So I would suggest that over suing, actually. All right. Now, if you don't want to become a U.S. citizen, then yes, you can sue. All right. But again, everyone's scenario is a little bit different. Depends on the timing, how long you waited. We just had our team member just had a call earlier today with someone that we consulted with like last year. I think the person lives in New York and got a bunch of different fees. And, I'm surprised. They're actually, to be honest, they're lower than mine, apparently a little lower than Team Law Group. But here's the thing. Customer service is top notch with our team. You'll know exactly what's going on with your case from step by step, because the point of suing the government is that you get the legal status sooner. But if you're not updated about your case, then of course you feel like feel like they're out of the loop. They're not being informed what's going on. So, and the customer service, not just by our attorneys, but by our CARES team specialists, they will help you. We will help you from start to finish, so you know exactly what's going on. But with that being said, I talk about all this, but bringing it back to the main topic here, I lost my green card. Can I enter America without my green card? Yes, you can, but you need that travel boarding foil. Okay, so at the end of the show, we're going to add a link so you can have access to our free guide on this topic, this question, and also you'll have links to all these resources. So again, if you're watching this, you're probably, hopefully not in this situation right now, but it could come up in the future, and I'll share a couple more things, then I got to jump to a team meeting. But, just taking it several steps back, like in a different scenario. If you're here, if you just got resident status, or maybe you have resident status for a while, and maybe you know that you're going to be outside the U.S. for at least 6 months, okay, I would definitely suggest applying for re-entry permit. It's valid for 2 years. You want to make sure. Well, here's the problem. Here's a problem scenario, especially because of the pandemic, and honestly, even before pandemic, some people have left the U.S. not intending to abandon their status, but maybe. Actually, I had a call about this, I think, a couple months ago. Someone said that they had to work abroad. And I said, "Oh, my company forced me to work abroad." No. No one forced you to work abroad. Yes, you're working with a company. So yes, they're telling you to go, but you can't give that reasoning to the USCIS or the State Department saying, "Oh no, I didn't intend to lose my status residency because my company forced me to work." They don't care about that. So you got to look at it the other way. You got to think in advance. So that's why we go on these live shows to share this information, because again, you might not be in the situation when you're watching this video, and hopefully not. Hopefully you're not outside the U.S. and been more than 6 months. And some of you might think, well, yeah, maybe I might be outside for like 4 months to 6 months. But hey, what happened to 2020? Pandemic happened, COVID. So you just never know what's going to happen. And especially the more predictable scenario is that if you have a business or something that requires you to be outside the U.S. for a long period of time, maybe it's a ill family member, you want to apply for this as soon as possible. Okay, re-entry permit. It's the Form 131. Okay, we do help with it, but you don't necessarily need a lawyer to do that. Do this form only. We're happy to assist. But again, it's the 131 form on the USCIS website. And people do ask, do I have to stay in America for this re-entry permit? Applications processing. Yes, you do have to. You can be a little quirky about it, and no, not quirky. You could try to strategize about this, but after you apply, as in most applications, you have to take your fingerprints. The government needs to take your fingerprints, biometrics. So who knows? I mean, there was a period of time the past couple of years that USCIS will have mail in the notice saying reuse your biometrics, but it's kind of hit or miss. They don't do that for every single applicant, but that's of course only if you've given your biometrics before. So it definitely makes sense that they would do that for someone who recently received the resident status, but they don't have like a chart telling us in what different scenarios they reuse the biometrics. So play it safe. If you have an idea you're going to be outside the U.S. For at least 4 to 6 months, you just never know what's going to happen. So go ahead, and because you guys have waited so long. I mean, everyone's situation is different, but you may have thought that in your specific scenario, it's all subjective, but because some people have gotten their green card resident status through family preference, F1, F2, F3, F4. So especially you're through your sibling and you finally got your green card and you're like, oh shoot, I got to go back to my country. Don't risk your status because you've waited so many years. Typically people are like F4 category, have waited 10 years. Doesn't matter which country you're from originally. So yeah, I would hate for you to have to refile for residency. Okay. That would be a bummer. Okay, well, hey, Oris Allen, I see you requested to be in the live video. Maybe you did on accident. Most people do on accident. But if you have any questions, you're welcome to drop it in the comment section. Hey, if you're new to our channel, we do offer free guides on our website. Let me give you an idea. It's greencardguys.com. And you can check it out right here. Okay, so on YouTube, it's right over here. Check it out. And just has several different ones. There's one about mandamus. You can check out right here. Mandamus guide. Okay, is basically you have a delay on any case. All right. Some people think, oh, well, I have to wait on what it shows on the processing time schedule. No, you don't have to wait what it says in the processing time schedule. So that's what I meant to follow up with the person who called earlier today with one of our team, spoke with one of our team members, and that is they were saying that several other lawyers in New York or wherever, they told me we have to wait what it shows on a processing time schedule. No, you don't, because the government's freaking messing with us. They're just changing these times whenever they want. There's nothing they have to follow with the law to say they have to say it's only like 12 months or only 24 months. So waiver cases, for example, they're taking at least 33 months. Let me see if I can find it here on the USCIS website to give you an idea. But yeah, again, I'm happy to answer any questions if you're on live. I see Anu has asked a question. You're an old attorney. Okay, I'll answer that soon. Let me show this thing on the USCIS website. Okay, so this is the case processing times. I'm clicking on the drop-down menu. You can't see it on the on the shared screen, but they have 2 service centers for these waiver cases. 601A is what I'm referring to specifically, and saying 80% of cases are processing in 36 months. Look, folks, before the pandemic, it was about, at least our cases, waiver cases were being processed for decision in about average 8 months. Okay, so don't let them fool you. Do not let the government, USCIS, or any other immigration agency fool you. They're bullying you. Okay, and look here. First of all, the reason why they've extended this is because down here, it's just like them preventing or limiting the InfoPass appointments with the local field office. I think you can see here. Let me scroll down more. Okay, yeah. When was your receipt date? All right, so let's just make one up. January 1st, 2022. So that was last year. And it says your case is processing normally. The earliest you can submit a question is January 31st, 2025. 2025 before I can freaking ask about my case? That's ridiculous. So if you call in to the USCIS National Hotline, you're wasting your time. You might as well go here Okay, you might as well go here. And then you see this nonsense, and you're like, "What the hell? You got you won't talk to me for 3 years or 2 more years?" So let's just put it in 2021. Case is still processing normally. You can contact us next year, February 1st, 2024. That is freaking ridiculous. It's nonsense. So don't think that just because it shows 36 months or whatever, that's not the proper barometer measurement of when to file a lawsuit. It's called unreasonable delay. Okay. Is there a specific time period in the law when you can file it? They only have it specific for naturalization cases to become a U.S. citizen. Okay, that's the N-400 form, and that is 120 days after interview. If you have not received a decision after an interview for an N-400, you can sue the government. They actually write it word for word. You can file a case in district court. Okay, take action, essentially federal action. Okay, so generally most people call this mandamus lawsuit. There's other cause of action that we include in it. So yeah, this is just the government's way to bully y'all. So don't take offense. I mean, in the sense that you just sit there and not do anything. Y'all need to take action to do something about it. Okay, and that's called suing the government. So most people ask, well, does the government penalize me or the negative consequences to my case if I sue the government? No, this is a separate legal remedy. This is your worst case scenario, which unfortunately, if you've seen more videos about this, even by other attorneys, there's a reason why. Some lawyers are talking about this now. We've been talking for a long time. Okay, we've been handling these cases for a while. Now, the thing is, because some people say, yeah, we help with mandamus, but if they tell you about following the processing time schedule, might want to think about that. Maybe because they don't have experience in these kind of cases, in mandamus cases, because they don't know the shortcut. I mean, I know your parents might say there's no shortcuts in life, but look, you've already been waiting so freaking long. So, for example, let's say you've been waiting for 24 months. You don't have to wait 24 months, okay? Right? So, if it's a marriage case, just generally historically, it's about 12-month processing time, and we've had some like process in 3 months lately. So if you've been waiting for like 18 months, it's time to sue. So every case is different, but okay, take a look at that. Okay, folks, think about it and let me know what you think. Give us a call. Okay, our phone number is down below on Instagram and above here on YouTube and Facebook. We greatly appreciate it, folks. You all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.